Welcome to the Filmmakers Roundtable. I'm your host, Ryan Long, joined by Riley Gilbert and Thomas Bolt. This is going to be the first episode of many of this podcast. What this podcast is going to be a group of student filmmakers. In this case, we have myself. I'm a junior along with Tom Bolt, and Riley is a senior. And so what we're going to be talking about is anything related to film. That is, new movies coming out, reviewing movies that have recently come out, and just things that pretty much relate to film, whether it's a TV show or something in the rumor mill of filmmaking. So our topic today is going to be about 2015. Is it going to be a great year for cinema? And we want to start out with talking about the new trailer for the Fantastic Four movie, the reboot that was released last week.
When you say, is 2015 going to be a good year for movies, I want to say yes.
Yes, absolutely.
I want to say yes so bad that this is going to be the year that can actually revolutionize what we know as filming.
Yes.
And it's just mind-boggling about how much stuff is happening, in our lifetime. 2010 and above, and I'm really happy to say this, is the time for geek movies.
Absolutely.
And that makes me
Completely
ridiculously happy. And that what's going on with film right now, it's all geek stuff, all the good stuff.
Yep.
It's fantastic. So is 2015 going to be a good year for film? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's
Yes,
definitely
it
going
is.
to be a great year for film for those film enthusiasts who really appreciate film.
Right.
And it's also going to be for like comic book enthusiasts, but it's also going to be great for the consumer because
Right.
it allows
Yep.
the consumer to be exposed to things that they haven't seen in comics. If I know that a lot of people don't pay attention to comic books.
It's gonna
but
embed them
Yes.
in that community, which is really, really good. Like for instance, I did not read the Guardians of the Galaxy comics until I saw the movie, and now I'm really, really interested in the comics, and I'm currently reading them right now. So
Yeah.
I can say thank you to the movies just for that.
And then another example of that, when the new Star Trek films came out, that's when I got into Star Trek.
Right.
So, and I only saw them just a couple of years ago, the new ones, and now I've seen all the movies, and I'm trying to get into the TV shows, and so now
Now look what J.J. Abrams is doing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
My God. That
can transition into one of the movies that we did want to talk about. I know both of you are a huge Star Wars fan.
Oh yes.
Thoughts on Episode 7? We have a teaser out.
So the
Yes.
teaser
What do you
was
guys
absolutely
think?
mind-boggling.
Yeah.
A forum that I belong to actually said that the new Star Wars trailer was going to be coming out during the Super Bowl. I was highly disappointed.
Yeah.
So you watched the Super Bowl just to see the Star Wars trailer?
Unfortunately, I did. And then
And
when I
you were
saw
disappointed.
the regular Star Wars trailer, I was highly let down. I don't know. For the expanded universe readers, you most recently got a piece of advice that probably crushed your heart, saying that all expanded universe has gone out the window and is known as what-if situations. That has upset me. But anything else other than that little piece of information, I am very, very stoked about the upcoming
absolutely,
movie.
and
Just incredibly stoked for this movie.
And like to touch on that, a lot of people say like they've knocked out the expanded universe from canon.
Yep.
But here's the thing. What's canon is up to you. You can just exclude the movies completely, or exclude the new movies completely from canon because
I can see what you're saying.
and just include, because I know I might get some heat for this. I did not consider the CGI Clone Wars show all that canon because a lot of things were retconned there. Like Anakin getting an apprentice.
Yeah.
It's just like, couldn't you just give him that to Obi-Wan or
Yeah,
somebody else?
I see what you're saying. Like what they did with Mandalore, that it totally just is blew it over.
Well, I mean, I didn't mind that, but still.
So J.J. Abrams is directing this film.
Right.
And a lot of people are giving him some hate going from Star Trek to Star Wars after a lot of the jokes going back and forth about, oh yeah, he uses lens flares and everything, but
Right.
I
Not
don't
a
think
single lens flare in the new teaser.
That-
No, not at all. And I think, that was one thing he really wanted to point out. especially during the there was one, and
Yeah.
that's during the Millennium Falcon scene, and it's the sun.
Yeah.
And I would say in that sense, it's beautiful.
Yeah,
It's
it ma-
absolutely
it makes
beautiful.
sense.
He didn't go, he didn't, jump the shark and was just like lens flares everywhere.
Although a YouTuber did.
Yeah, I know, and it's fantastic.
There's the
It's-
J.J. Abrams
it's so
edition of
good.
the trailer.
And then George
Yeah.
Lucas version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
What do you guys
beautiful.
think about that?
I think the
And-
George Lucas version, it made me giggle like a little girl.
It's funny, but you know what's ironic? The Jabba the Hutt that was in there, it was this. They cut out the Jabba the Hutt, they put in a special edition. It still looks better
Yeah.
there than it does in the movie. I
Yeah.
don't know how that's possible.
No.
So,
So I don't know.
so overall, is this going to be? I already know the answer, but for an audience member who isn't too much of a Star Wars fan,
Right. Do you think this?
do
is
you
going
think
to,
that this is going to? Are people going to want to see it opening weekend?
Obviously,
yes.
it's Star
It's going
Wars.
to be sold out. I say that ticket sales should probably be going on a month beforehand.
We better be jumping on the shark.
Crazy amounts of people are going to be flocking to the movies so they can see this.
Camping out just to go
yes,
see it.
because they're
Almost like a Black Friday.
exactly. It's
Absolutely.
going to be the next Black Friday, because I don't think that there has been as much hype as they've put into this, which is little to no hype whatsoever.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's still
They've
getting
hyped it by not hyping it.
exactly.
Yeah.
It has gotten so much hype just by the internet itself
Yeah.
that these people are freaking out over this movie. I'm freaking out over this movie.
And
Yeah.
like there's been leaked photos, and which before we started this podcast a couple hours ago, I found out they're suing somebody who leaked all the information.
Oh, right, yeah.
Which I haven't read because I'm trying to go unspoiled.
Yeah.
I
Go
actually-
completely blinded in.
Yes.
I did something really bad, and I read one of the plot synopsis.
Do not tell me. Do not.
Oh,
Not on air.
Oh,
Please don't tell me.
I'm so happy. But I read that, and it was just like, I had my phone, and I was in my bed, and I was just like, what have I done?
What have I done?
What have I done?
Was it like the plot, or were there,
I'm not saying anything.
Or,
Okay.
Were
Nothing.
there spoilers in that?
I would
Possibly.
say just a few, especially for people who have been they're going to be in the movie, but their roles haven't been said yet.
Like the old cast.
Besides that, like Adam Driver, for instance, it's people. I'm not. Was it Adam Driver? I can't remember who it was, but someone's role in there, and I was like, wow, I can't believe they're doing that. So.
Oh.
And then that brings me to my second question, being for a lot of kids, ages, I'd say maybe 7 and up.
Right.
Is this going to be something
kid's movie?
that inspires people to not only make films, look into filmmaking, but is it going to bring them into the universe if they haven't seen,
I think I can answer
the
this.
original trilogy, the prequels, or just coming off of the new Star Wars Rebel cartoon?
What was you gonna say, Tom?
I can say this. I can say it probably will, because any J.J. Abrams movie that I've seen, it's always been inspiring, because I've seen the behind the scenes of Super 8 and the new
Right.
Star Trek
Yep.
movies.
I forgot he did Super 8.
Yeah.
And Lost.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
Lost.
yeah.
and
Lost.
I haven't seen much of Lost, but still,
Ooh, so good.
I've heard. But yeah, I've heard of that, and anytime he's directing, I know it's inspiring and
Yeah.
everything. So I say it will, and even you say what you want about the prequels, but the original trilogy was inspiring as a filmmaker, and again, say what you want about the prequels, but every time I watch behind the scenes, I'm just like every time behind the scenes, sometimes I watch webisodes that they made back in the day, and I'm just like, I want to make a movie now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It
especially
definitely-
now that I'm working on a
And more
fan film.
More on the aspects of is this going to embed kids to look at the Star Wars universe as a whole new thing, right?
Yep.
So one thing that the prequel movies did, and then with the new trilogy did, they had stuff like Jar Jar Binks, for instance, and then
Yeah.
they just had that small kid friendly stuff embedded in there, and that ruined the movie. So
A lot of it was what can we add in CGI?
Right.
And
So
a lot of things that they've released, and J.J. Abrams made it apparent that they are going back to practical
Yes,
effects.
and that
to
makes
make
me
it.
incredibly happy.
They're going to do a balance.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a good
and
balance.
Like with the new Star Trek films he did, I was really surprised what was real in those movies.
Yeah.
The Enterprise was all
Right.
real, and
And it just, I don't know, it makes me happy that, more people are coming out and saying that they're doing practical effects.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
sometimes you can tell, sometimes you're like, No, there's
Yeah.
no way that's real.
I think because in the 90s and especially in the 2000s, people they would just CGI everything.
Yeah. Yep.
Now we're in the 2010s decade, and now I think they're starting to realize, okay, maybe we need to back
Like
down.
the whole 100% CGI movies, that was a fad.
Yeah.
It really was, and it was a terrible fad. Some did it better than others, but I like a movie that where the balance of CGI versus
Lord of the Rings.
Yes,
Lord of the Rings.
especially Lord of the Rings. They did a fantastic balance.
And
Same thing with the anything in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Oh
yeah.
Marvel's huge on using practical effects, and I'm very happy about it.
And one thing I always like to point out in the new Star Trek films, there's a scene where Spock goes into an elevator and then goes up to the bridge of the Enterprise, and then the first shot when he walks in, it's just a green screen in front of the bridge of the Enterprise, and he walks in, he goes up the elevator, and then they just take the green screen away, and he's there.
Wow,
that's just mind-boggling.
Okay. I'd like to transition now. As much as we like talking about Star Wars,
Look at this segue about to happen.
let's talk about other movies that are going to be released in 2015.
Fair enough. Sounds good.
Ultron.
Out of, I'm going to list a few, and I
So
want to know
excited.
which one you guys are most excited for. Riley probably
Oh,
just
I'm so
spoiled his
excited.
answer. So in August, we're looking at Fantastic Four,
Right.
which the cast looks amazing,
Oh yes,
despite what a lot of people are saying.
Very fantastic cast.
We have, I know you guys probably will hate me for putting it on this list. We have The Hunger Games, Mockingjay Part 2.
I like the Hunger Games movies.
Okay.
I do like them.
we'll talk about that
Like
after
me
we
and
get
my
all them
sisters, we
filmed.
go to the midnight premieres and stuff. They're good movies.
And then we have Avengers Age of Ultron.
Uh,
And a reboot, so to speak, Jurassic World. Which one are you guys most excited for?
so
I'm gonna have to. You go ahead, right?
no, go for it.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to say Avengers: Age of Ultron, foremost.
So I'm gonna have to go ahead and say Ultron as well. But something that I've been watching closer is Jurassic World. I have looked so much into this Jurassic World movie. I've gone to the website, I'm subscribed to get daily news about Jurassic World and stuff, and then I have been trying to keep in the dark as much as possible with Ultron that I am Star Wars, which is ridiculous to say.
Yeah.
But I have just been I'm going into that movie blind, which is fantastic. The trailers and stuff, that's it. That's all I've watched.
Yeah.
And there's a few things here and there,
Yeah.
like hidden cast members, and I have to stop myself because I'm just I want to know more, but I can't. I want to go into the movie blind.
Yeah. So I honestly can't make up my mind which film I am most excited for between The Avengers Age of Ultron
Right.
and Jurassic World.
Yeah.
I would almost say that I'm leaning more towards Jurassic World because I know that Avengers, the original Avengers film, was the first. It set a big precedent for superhero movies.
The highest grossing film of all time.
Yeah.
Finally beating Avatar.
Which Avengers 1, The Dark Knight, and Captain America: The Winter Soldier are, in my opinion, the best.
That is a very good lineup. Wow.
And
the
Iron
best
Man.
three list. Yes, with Iron Man. Those are the best superhero films you can see.
Iron Man 1 is
Which
mind-boggling.
Yeah.
That movie
I
is
don't
so
know
good.
if Age of Ultron could pass any of those. I'm
Hey,
sure it can pass Dark Knight.
A lot of people
and
didn't
Captain
think
America.
Avengers wouldn't pass anything. It would
That's-
just be
that's true.
But a lot of people thought it was going to be Iron Man 3.
Yeah,
which it
and
was.
everyone thought that's true. Everyone thought it was going to be really unbalanced. People pointing towards more Tony Stark and putting everyone, below them. Which, in a sense, I guess you could say it is kind of another Iron Man film because they did focus on Iron Man a lot. And then Captain America in that movie. If you look at it, he hardly got no spotlight whatsoever.
Yes.
Yeah,
No spotlight whatsoever. And I just hope that when this movie comes, it's equally balanced.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, to be fair, they had I heard they had 4 hours worth of movie, and then they had to cut it down a lot, and
Which I'm glad that they
And,
didn't do Avengers 1 Part 1.
Yeah.
Like with
Avengers
what
1
they're
Part 2.
doing, they already said that Infinity Wars is going to be a two-parter.
Which I am okay with.
I'm okay with that as long as they do it correctly. Hunger
Yes.
Games Mockingjay did not need to be a two-parter.
It did not.
It did not need to be
Yeah.
a two-parter, and
It was a
makes me-
short movie.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it made me mad to no extent. Going, oh no, they're just milking the cow now.
yeah.
Other films films that have done it well.
Like
the Harry
Han,
Potter
I'll
series.
talk.
Yes.
Harry
yes.
Potter and the Deathly Hallows. Part 1 can stand alone as a movie.
Right.
And
then,
so can Part 2.
Yeah.
And the way that they segue into each other it's
beautiful.
fantastic.
And
it's so good.
It's unlike The Hobbit. My God, why do you need to make a whole trilogy out of one book?
Okay, so I agree that they did not need to make a trilogy,
They
but
just-
my God, are those movies fantastic.
Yeah.
Especially the third one. Third one is phenomenal. My favorite.
Why drag it out?
Yeah.
Like,
They totally drug it out too.
yeah.
Now, going back to why I'm most excited for Jurassic World
Right.
Yeah.
is because it looks like this huge open world dinosaur film, which I've heard things where people say, okay, it kind of looks like Avatar with dinosaurs.
I could see that.
Yeah.
One thing
But-
I'm really scared about is that they're just gonna make it a psychological thriller, I guess. Which that's not really the point. The point is you're seeing friggin' dinosaurs on a movie screen.
Yes.
Yeah.
And with the original Jurassic Park, it was a good monster film as it was
Yeah.
a thriller. And that, like, we're all about balance here. That balance between those two were fantastic. Now this one is something, just in the trailers, there are just these few little things that Chris Pratt says that kind of throws me off, and those were
Yes.
kind of caught to my
Yeah.
attention. And I just do not want the movie to be cheesy. And speaking of cheesy, Terminator Genesis looks very cheesy.
Yes.
Yeah.
That movie
but
looks incredibly cheesy, but regardless,
But
I will throw my money at the
It
screen.
looks like
and
it's
go watch
taking risks. Like,
Yeah.
Because Sarah Connor's a new.
Right.
Cat-
They have
yeah.
totally
Like-
ripped the canon in half, and they were just
Well, I
like,
think
let's
that
start
was the
something
point of it.
else.
Because I don't know if James Cameron's back on these films or not.
I can't think if it's him or not either. Right now.
Because I remember hearing rumors that he and Arnold were talking about
Yeah.
doing more films. So I kind of hope he is because.
I love Arnie.
Yeah.
I love him.
Because James Cameron didn't direct 3 or 4.
I didn't watch those.
Yeah.
Well,
I watched 3. Take that back.
Salvation
I watched parts of
it's Transformers.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what I heard. I didn't want to watch Salvation whatsoever.
No.
Transformers,
Judgment
not
Day-
by Michael Bay.
Yes. Judgment Day, Terminator 2
Oh, that's
is
so good.
it's
I
my
love it.
favorite.
Oh.
Okay. So lastly, the last topic I want to talk about, I know you mentioned talking about in Jurassic World, Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
There's rumor going around
okay.
that Chris Pratt
Okay.
could be playing Indiana Jones in a possible reboot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just that alone, what do you guys think?
Okay. Go ahead.
I'm okay. I'm honestly okay with this because Harrison Ford, he's like what 72, 73.
He's getting out there.
Yeah, and cause
didn't
so
think he was that
and
old.
I think this could be like what they did with Chris Pine is Captain Kirk in the new Star Trek movies.
Right.
He was perfectly casted.
Yes.
So or like Ewan McGregor in the prequels,
Right.
Star Wars
Yeah.
prequels.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Spot on.
Absolutely. Loved
Really
it.
good with his role.
And I could, this could really work. And, I think it's with Disney buying Lucasfilm and everything,
Right.
we knew we right away we were going to get new Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
Which
Yes.
is awesome. And then there was also a possibility we could get new Indiana Jones movies or
There's just one thing that absolutely scares me to death, is that they would do a total franchise reboot.
Yes.
Now you had.
I do not want to see another Raiders of the Lost
No.
You
Ark.
had
God.
mentioned
You cannot
earlier
remake
it.
that they could do a Young Indiana Jones series.
Yeah.
Which, believe it or not, people were they don't know about this, but I when I was littler, I had this box set and it was Young Indiana Jones. So if they were to do something like that, I don't see a problem.
Because
with
Chris
it.
Pratt is actually a bit younger than Harrison Ford was when they did Raiders.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean,
So it fits.
So if they were to show him from being a kid to he's a teacher, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he's just this awesome BA with a whip. Love it.
Yeah.
I will watch that to no end.
Maybe they'll pull like they did in the new Star Trek movies, Spock meets Spock.
Yeah.
Oh right,
Like
that
the
would
new-
be very cool.
Like the new Spock meets the Leonard Nimoy Spock.
Like maybe
So-
Indiana Jones's teacher is
Yeah.
Harrison Ford or
Yeah.
something, and he gives him advice about adventuring the world or
or
something. crazy
maybe he'll
crap
do a
like that.
Stan Lee cameo type
Yeah,
of
there
thing.
you go.
So,
Oh, Stan
So-
Lee.
yeah.
How many movies do you guys think that they will try and pull out of it, and how many do you think they should make?
So
out of it?
flops or not? Let's see. So
How many will it be when it gets too much?
okay, so I think And it hurts me to say this. Marvel has had such a good run with their movies. They have not had a flop yet. Mm-hmm. Ant-Man is going to be their demise. They are up for one movie to be like, oh, that was not a good
And it's bound to
Marvel.
happen.
It's bound to happen.
Yeah.
Look at episode 1 of Phantom Menace. God awful.
Yep.
It's awful.
Thanks,
It happens. It happens.
But still made a ton of money.
Yes, it did. And so,
Oh, God.
but
I'm so sorry.
but so I do think Ant-Man is going to be not, I wouldn't say their demise, rather, but it's just their time for them to have a bad movie.
Yeah.
Well,
and it's gonna be Ant-Man.
Well, you never know.
never
you don't know. Maybe they're playing it cool and they're just like, let's make this trailer really bad.
I thought,
Marvel has the money for it.
Yeah, let's just make this trailer really bad and then people will be like, I want to go see it to see how bad Paul Rudd is in this movie. And then they're just totally flabbergasted about how good the movie is.
Well, I mean, going back to, the Fantastic Four, comparing it to Ant-Man trailer, I was just like, Fantastic Four, the new trailer, it's just, oh my God, this is Man of Steel all over again. Yeah. And I'm not kidding. That Man of Steel was god awful. Man of Steel got so much hype, and I'm just not a fan of Superman. And I didn't. Neither am I.
I'm not a DC person.
No, I'm not either.
No,
I really can't. I can't say I like. There's a few characters out of the DC comic universe that I like. Like I like Deathstroke really.
Yeah.
I don't like Deadpool. But
I'm
I like
honestly a
Deathstroke.
huge fan of the Flash.
Oh, I like Flash too.
Yeah.
Like I've been trying to get into watching Arrow and Flash together.
Yeah.
But then freaking mind exploded a few months ago, dropped my pencil, when Netflix was like, are you guys ready? We're making a Daredevil TV show Netflix exclusive. That blew my mind because that means that Marvel is going face to face with DC, and because DC right now is running TV and cartoons.
Yeah.
Whereas thank you, Charles. Ooh, this guy.
Shout out to Charles.
Shout out to Charles. DC is running, let's see right now. They're running TV show and cartoons, whereas Marvel is running movies and comics.
Yeah.
Yep.
Marvel is trying to take over. Marvel is trying to take over TV series because they see how much money and how much popularity that they're doing with like the Arrow and Flash and stuff. So I don't know. I'm excited for the Daredevil TV show.
Yeah, but like what I was saying about the Fantastic Four, it's just like, okay, a lot of, especially DC, they're trying to go what the Dark Knight did, but they miss it so much.
Yeah.
What Man of Steel missed, and I don't know, but what the Fantastic Four might miss as well. They Man of Steel misplaced darkness and gloomiest and dark and serious and realistic.
And who knows? Maybe it's just the tone of the trailer.
Maybe, but
we've only seen one trailer. Not really sure how many shots were in there.
But
it's just a trailer.
Maybe, but my point is, what Man of Steel missed about The Dark Knight, they mistaked dark and realistic with psychotic murdering. What's the word?
Don't know, but it's a very good point.
Yeah, it's a very good point.
Psychotic murdering.
Back to the original question. How many?
Oh yeah, I forgot there was an original question.
How many Indiana Jones movies do you think that they should make?
I'd say about maybe make the first one, see where that goes, and then maybe make a trilogy.
I think if they were to go ahead and be like, hey, this is a trilogy, and then I think they did really bad that way. But if they were like, here's a young Indiana Jones movie, and then they were just like, that's good, we're making a trilogy, and I think they'd get a lot more money if they were to do that. Very good marketing campaign with that.
The same thing with Star Wars. It would open a lot of kids up to the Indiana Jones universe.
Yeah, I could see that.
And with Star Wars, we're already getting a trilogy.
Yeah, Star Wars, we have the trilogy, and in between movies, we're getting a Boba Fett movie, we're getting a Han Solo movie, we're getting a Yoda movie. Yes. That got taken out, and now we're getting a Rogue Squadron movie.
Oh, I want to see that.
Yes. Yes, look at that.
Yeah. Our switcher
That's
man
so
is
awesome.
sitting in here. He did not know this in his face. His face.
Oh, you're excited about the Boba Fett movie? Is that what you're freaking out about? Oh, I thought I said Rogue Squadron movie, and you're like, what? Yeah, look at that. And then,
pull up a chair.
And then there's also talk about them doing a heist movie. Now this God,
Ladies and gentlemen, Jacob Goldfarb.
Jacob Goldfarb, everybody. This piqued people's interest too, and there's been little stuff about this, and I don't know how I feel about it. That maybe they're making a standalone Star Wars movie about how the rebels were able to get the Death Star blueprints and such.
Yep.
That is very interesting. That Disney / LucasArts are willing to put their name out there and be like, we're gonna make a heist movie.
Yep.
It's very tricky to do because it's either a hit or miss with heist movies.
Oh, the heist. I thought you were talking about the Rogue Squad one. But
No, Rogue Squad. That's gonna do fantastic.
Oh yeah.
That's gonna do so good.
No, I was referring to the blueprints part.
Right.
But because Rogue Squad was created after that.
Yeah.
After A New Hope. But anyway.
I had heard of none of this.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, because there's movies
Welcome to
coming
the
out.
podcast.
There's movies coming in between every other movie. So you have Episode 7 movie, Episode 8 another movie, Episode 9 other movie, and I do believe there's speculation that they are coming out with just other standalone movies.
We're
in
going to
between
get
those.
Episode 10.
Well, they haven't confirmed that.
Yeah, that's dude. Who knows?
You heard it here first, people.
Confirmed.
Confirmed.
Concerns
I
about
know George
the
Lucas
new Star Wars
sleeps in the
movies, but
basement.
if they can manage to pull these off and make them good,
Yeah.
then I'm going to be happy for a very, very
Yeah.
long
Yes,
time.
we-
I'll be
all
excited
will.
to sit my
Yeah.
kids down and be like, okay,
Yes.
You have to watch
we're gonna
this.
watch the prequels, and then you're gonna get
Your
really
rattle's
happy.
going to be in the shape of a lightsaber.
Then we're gonna get, dude. My kids right now, as of now, my kids are going to be. It's talking as if I have them right now. They're going to be straight up geeks.
Are you trying
Yeah.
to tell us something?
No.
Yeah.
Oh
Okay.
God. No.
Goldfarb, what movies are you excited for 2015?
Mostly Star Wars.
Mostly.
We are a very Star Wars podcast.
Yes.
people.
Jurassic World.
Yeah.
I've been hoping for that movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Been checking IMDb for the longest
Right.
time
Yeah.
before I
Have you
even...
gone to the website?
No.
The website is fantastic because what you can do is you can check prices like as if it was an actual like website, and then whenever you click buy tickets, you can pre-order tickets, which is fantastic. And then most recently, they just added a
That's
live.
the face of
Yeah,
happiness
the
right there.
biggest.
And then most recently, they just added a live
Jacob
cam
Goldfarb.
feed, and you can like check people like what's going on in the park and stuff. It hasn't been up so long, and so like whenever you click the dinosaur exhibit and you're watching the dinosaur exhibit, no one has really seen anything yet. But it was rumored that every once in a while you'll see like a shadow like come by or something.
That's cool.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's so cool. And then whenever they released the name of the new dinosaur on the webpage, it says introducing blah 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 coming this summer.
Yeah.
And it shows like the silhouette of the new dinosaur coming out for the movie.
This movie does have a lot of hype for it.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, it has a lot of hype for it, and it's fantastic.
It's very comparable to Episode 7.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
I think
the
a lot
internet-
of adults that grew up with it
right.
are going to be huge fans of it. And not only are they going to buy a ticket for themselves, they're going to buy
A
it for
ticket
their
for-
wife
yeah.
or husband, and they're going to buy it for at least one of their kids.
Right.
You know, this is
And then I'm
actually
going to buy it for my neighbor and my dog. And
the perfect time to release all these. It seems like they're all coming out at the
Yeah.
same time.
Yeah.
Which is why
Same
this
year.
is going to be such a great year.
But if you think about it, those people who watch the movies, they had kids, and now we are those kids.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Exactly.
And
I
we're
think
here
they
talking about
waited
it.
And
for
so
that.
and so, you know, they had like these pioneering movies like Jurassic Park was revolutionary.
Yep.
Yes.
A
And
lot
then
of
we're
good
getting
effects.
Jurassic Worlds, which, knock on wood, it's going to be revolutionary, maybe.
I'm
maybe.
gonna say yes.
And then
You might
we're
have heard
going,
it here.
You know what?
and then
First,
we're going to be
I
telling
haven't
our
even seen it.
kids about how awesome this movie is. Like, man, we gotta go to the video store right now and
Yeah.
go rent this movie. 'Cause it's so
I gotta go get
good.
this VHS tape.
Video
I gotta make sure it's rewound when I turn it back in. This is how
Be
we
kind,
do
please.
movies.
Head on over
rewind.
to Blockbuster.
Rest in peace.
What?
Oh
What's
my
this blockbuster you speak of?
I still got a Family
It's a
Video.
magical place.
I still rent
Anyways.
games of Family Video.
But that
Yeah.
place exists.
Me
Wrapping
too.
up
I've never
here.
been there.
Oh.
Okay, wrapping up here. I want to go around, starting with Goldfarb. You said Jurassic World. Is that going to be the? Is that predictably?
Movie
are you
of the year?
thinking? Is that going to be movie of the year? What do you
Yeah.
think is going to be movie? Of the
So
year?
you
I'm gonna
think
say Star Wars. Star Wars.
Star
is
Wars?
gonna be movie of the year.
I know I'm biased, but not just because of my bias, but just because it's Star Wars. You know, it revolutionized the way films are made.
Yep.
So you know, it has to be Star Wars. So it's
Yep.
it's inevitable, in my opinion.
Yep.
What do you think, Ryan?
I honestly, I think I'm gonna have to say Star Wars as well.
Yeah.
It's going to pretty much sell out every weekend.
Yep.
And it's just going to be one of those films that people are going to see multiple times every weekend. So wrapping up, I'm Ryan Long. This has been the first episode of the Filmmakers Roundtable. This has been Riley Gilbert, Thomas Bolt, Jacob Goldfarb, and I guess Brad is now in the shot. Thank you all for watching. Hopefully you all enjoyed. If you liked this video, be sure to click that like button. If you disliked it, let us know in the comments down below. This has been episode 1, Filmmakers Roundtable. I'll see you guys in the next one. Everybody's just wanting to get in our
Love you
shot.
guys. Have a good one.
Bye.
All
Later.
hail Rebel Alliance.
Oh, hey,